Everyone, some big changes to 9712, which were actually made back in 2022, will come into enforce on the 1st of January 2026 through TWI. This will affect those who have 9712 certifications because it's going to change the whole way in which renewals and experience and training requirements are all built within the new version of ISO 9712. So I thought we'd have a very quick look and see where we are with that. So if I jump across here, so 4 weeks ago, we posted on LinkedIn. We do a lot of posts on LinkedIn. If you're not followed on there, please have a look for us there. You can either follow Carbon Arc or myself. We post a lot more now on LinkedIn than we do on YouTube. YouTube is going to be stayed for our training videos. LinkedIn for our day-to-day communications with the community. So we did an audit, or were involved in an audit, where questions around 9712 2012 and 9712 2022 came up. And that got us kind of keeping an eye on it. We asked some questions. Please jump over to LinkedIn, have a read, drop your thoughts in the comments section and go from there. But what's happened today is TWI Certification Ltd have announced their update to 9712, and you can see that they've did a post on LinkedIn. Go and check that out, and dropped on this this statement here on their website, so you can find this over at sayswip.com. Okay. So main changes for the scheme. So what they're saying is anybody who initially does their qualification this year will be assessed against the old standard. Anybody from January 2026 who does their qualification will be assessed from this new 2022. And there's a few things that can easily catch you out, which I want to have a look at. Okay, so have a read of their document now, is in full. But what we've got here is the main changes to this TWI Certification Ltd 9712 scheme will be the training experience and requirements is now stated in days rather than hours and months. Easy change that lets you kind of play with it. There is a statement in 9712 2022 that clarifies the amount of hours per day, and I believe that's 7 hours. I'll tell you what, let's have a quick look. Let me bring up 9712. Too many windows. Right, so here is 9712. So experiential hours is what we're looking for. I know there is a table. Abbreviate terms, training requirements, minimum industrial experience. Here you go. So what this is saying here is 1 day is at least 7 hours, which can be achieved in either a single day or cumulative hours. So you're still going to kind of have to check your hours of experience and then convert it to days. The maximum allowable hours in any one day is 12. Experience in days is achieved by dividing the total cumulative hours by 7. Okay, so that's how so even though they're going to be measuring experience in days, so you can see here for like liquid penetrant testing, so it's 15 days for PT there. Right, 15 days at level 1. To be able to do that, you're still going to have to do it in hours and convert it to days. Okay, so that's the first kind of one, right? A new intensive practical training course will be available, which can provide up to 50% of the work experience. I don't like this. Not TWI doing it. I don't like any of these intensive courses. Personally, I believe they kind of remove the point of getting practical experience, and there's a way of the training body selling you a course to give you experience. I don't know how valuable they are. I don't know how well they're going to be run generally throughout the whole training sort of fraternity. I question that, but it's going to be an option 50% of the days. Where you go. The renewal process at the 5-year point has changed. Renewal is now by a structured credit examination type. So this is probably the biggest change I can see catching people out. So if we bring back up 9712 and we want to go to the credit module, which is at the back. Is it, how far at the back? Here it is. What you get, sorry, not the best on this screen, right, is a table like this, right? So it gives topic items down one side with a point value at level 1, 2, and 3. So you can see here for part A, performing NDT activities. So points granted per activity. So 2 for 2 days, you get a maximum number of points is 25. Now you've got to make 100 points total. So you've got to kind of play with these. So for instance, level 2. Performing your NDT activities in line with your level 2 is going to get you 95 credits. So just doing your job for 5 years is not enough. Okay, what you have to do is be doing your job plus something else. Okay, for instance, it'll be like doing your job and being, in point 8 here, a member of an NDT organisation. So BINDT, the World Enjoyment Society, something like that, I'm guessing, would get you 5, so that would get you 100 credits. So you've got to play with that. We will be doing a much more in-depth look at that because there's rules about part A and part B, but this is just a very quick general overview of what happens. But that's massive, okay? So you've got to make sure that that is carried out every year, okay? Right, so verified employment log sheets will be required every 12 months, without which your certificate becomes invalid and you will not be able to renew at the 5 or 10 year stage. This is going to be interesting. Are they saying that we have to send in our log sheet for them to review and somehow approve it in the system that can be checked? If so, this is going to like times by 5 the amount of work that the institutes already have. So whether that, I don't know, TWI or Lavenders, I'm guessing they're going to have the same system. I don't know. Argyle Reigns for the UK and all this type of thing. How are they going to manage approving all of that per year? And is there going to be a cost per that? I'm guessing there is going to be a cost. So if there's a cost per year now that you didn't have, what will the 5-year cost look like? Or is just going to be more money that costs people in order to recertify? Okay. There will now be 3 dates on your certificate: an issue date, an expiry date, and an effective date. The effective date is the date the certification decision was made and when your certificate will be valid from. So I'm going to go with that's the date that they decide your exam passes. So at the minute, you could do an exam and it goes into a pile for a month, but the date was from your exam date. So this might gain you some time, like back into your pocket, because you'll be able to say, well, I did my exam on the 1st of January and it wasn't marked until the 1st of February. Great. My certificate actually exists from the 1st of February and moved on. Let's see how that one works, but that could be a benefit. And the date that your new certificate starts will be different depending on whether you submit your renewal application before. Okay, so does that... I don't understand this sentence. I'll just rewind it again. The date your new certificate starts will be different depending on whether you submitted your renewal application before or after your current expires. So does that, and I'm only reading these words here, so I've got to kind of get my head around this as well, but does that mean at the minute, if you apply for a renewal after the date it expires, they just backdate it to the original expiry date, so you don't gain any time? Does this mean that you will gain time? I'd be looking forward to showing or seeing what TWI Certification are going to do in this sense when they release their announcements around it, and we'll look at them and talk about them when they come out. So then they've got, in the coming weeks, news articles will be published on their website, specific terms against each change of the certification process. So this is good. Finally, the training organisations and certification bodies are moving to actually take the new version of the standards. That's a brilliant thing. They have been out since 2022, and it's about time we caught up. It's interesting, yeah. Please note, ISO 9712 is created and controlled by the BSI. That's in the UK. TWI Certification does not hold any control or influence over the contents. That is true. It's a shame, isn't it? You'd think that BSI would involve people like TWI or the other certification bodies, BI, NDT and the likes, to run these past and get feedback. I don't know the process that involves, but that statement indicates that TWI Certification have no say in the standard at all. Again, a shame, because they are the institute, and you'd hope that they'd have a little bit more involvement in a process like that for us as users to be able to communicate to them, for them then to have our backs in front of BSI. I don't know how do you say to BSI that you disagree with these standards or the impact it's going to have. But yeah, very quick video is just a quick look at TWI Certification moving to adopt 9712 2022. It's going to be an interesting change as that kind of comes together. Any comments? Drop them down below. Like I said, come and follow us on LinkedIn if you're not already. It's a good place to kind of share thoughts and stuff like that. You'll see our day-to-day going on and what we're up to and all that. And I will see you in the next one. Good luck with your studies.